We're early.
We're early. We may
It's
be
kind of
down
amazing.
one, but you got the two of us today. I mean,
Yeah, and we're early.
could be worse.
Hey, we're not late.
Right. I blame coffee. I know it's coffee because my cup says so. It's telling me what
Well,
is
that's
there.
because I went and got it for you. I thought you might need a reminder of what it was.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if it's really a RV Small Talk live if I don't have my yellow cup that has the sunglasses and says,
I know, but it wasn't
Reminds me to
there.
just
I
be
don't know where
cool.
it is.
"Where is my mug?"
Oh, you know what? We washed it, and I bet.
It's probably my basket.
No, I bet the nice guys put it away under the counter where
That's unacceptable.
we put the
Nice guys
employee
everywhere.
mugs
Don't hide
that
my
anyone
mug.
you can use. But you know what?
What?
I decided this morning I'm going to task someone, Lindsay or Sam, to find coffee mugs that we can order with the new Princess Craft logo. on them.
Right, right. If you haven't paid attention to the Princess Craft, obviously we're RV Small Talk podcast, but we work at Princess Craft. If you haven't checked out our Facebook page, we're starting to do a slow rollout of a new logo for Princess Craft. So go over there and kind of let us know what you think of the new logo.
It's at Facebook and Instagram.
right
And
for Princess Craft, not for RV Small Talk. For Princess Craft, the dealership. So,
when it comes to us, we're all over the place. So you got to kind of connect in 7 places. Maybe
Right.
that's not so good, but that's how it is.
I do feel scatterbrained
Yeah.
100% of the time.
I feel scatter announced, scatter presented. Maybe that's a better word. But
Fair enough.
the new logo, I like it. I had no idea that anybody could come up with something that I liked because
Me either.
I
I've been
am
here
the
4
problem.
years.
I am the problem. I fully admit it. But I think this one is nice and clean. It's
Modern.
smart. It's kind of simple.
I think it
suits us.
easily can be placed so many places. That's a sign of a logo that works for me. Is it easily can be translated to many different placements, and it it lends itself to whatever environment that logo shows up in. It's clean.
Well, let's
Easy to
lend
understand.
its environment to a coffee cup
Okay,
because I would like to have that.
fair enough. Fair enough. What have we been doing, and what's going to happen? What's happening here at Princess Craft, PJ?
I don't know. We're still recovering from the rally. Our showroom is still not put together
Yeah.
because we got to bring
Talk
everything
about it.
back
I'm
and
actually going
put
to
it
share
in.
this podcast or this live to the rally page. So keep talking. Talk amongst
Okay.
yourselves.
Okay. Well, the rally was super cool. Last time I noticed, we had 105 trailers, and it was amazing. And all kinds of people, all kinds of new campers, veteran campers, young campers, old campers. A lot of people that didn't remember how to dance that relearned how to dance.
Well, we haven't been able to do a rally dance
That's
in 2
right.
years almost.
And we just jumped in there and did it this time, and it was so great. Bob Apple played for us with his trio. Ton of fun. So much food, and then more food. And Mike brought us coffee, so we had this amazing coffee every morning. And it was just, wow, tons of fun. Lots of great campfires. A lot of propane fires out at night, so that was super fun. I did not make it to the river this time. There's a short hike down to what river is it? I always forget. Do you remember?
Medina.
Is it Medina?
Mm-hmm.
The Medina River. Okay, apparently I never remember, even now. So, yeah, I didn't make it down there. Did you? Was there good water running? And
I didn't make it
was
down to
nice?
the river either.
We were just so busy taking care of things. It was hard to slow down until way after dark.
Yep.
But some beautiful sunrises and just a gorgeous place to be. I want to be sure that we properly thank the campground.
Skyline Ranch in Llano, Texas. You guys
It wasn't
really
in Llano.
You're right. Bandera. Llano was the week before.
Skyline Ranch RV Resort.
Hey, Barbara.
And it is in Bandera. Bandera is the cowboy capital of the world. If you're in Texas or if you're not in Texas and you're looking for a weekend getaway, just a getaway, they have a couple of bars there that are famous for good dancing.
Yep.
If you like to two-step or if you just like to go hear some live music. A lot of fun kitschy shops to shop in.
Mm-hmm.
So that could take up a day of your wanderings. You are nearby wineries and distilleries and craft breweries.
Well, it's a great location if you want to hit other locations. You're right in the middle of it. So Bandera has its own everything that Bandera is, being the capital
plenty to do
Texas
right
of
there.
the world. But you can easily, in just a short drive, hit some other fantastic Fredericksburgs and Bernies and Greens. You're not far from a lot of fantastic Texas stuff.
Yeah.
When you're in Bandera.
So Angela says the river was at a trickle. Well, that's disappointing.
That's a bummer. Yeah.
We've had a lot of rain, so that surprises me. But hey, Chip.
It's a tiny trailer image, Sniff, but Daisy and I like the new image. Well, you know.
Yeah, that's true. We had to pick.
Yep. Didn't want to make a cluttered image, and I think there may be something we can dream up for at least the Truck Camper Rally sometime. You know.
I think we have some ideas cooking. It'll be simple as well, but it'll be fun. Yeah. A Truck Camper Rally with its own logo. There you go. Mm-hmm. We're moving into the world here.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it says right down the road is Medina and the apple orchard, great apple stuff. You know what always surprises me?
Oh, I've never been there. So many people go there.
There's we've been up north a little bit and they have their big old, we're the apple capital.
Speak for yourself.
Apple
I am not an
capital of their whatever. I never realized until a few years ago that Texas has a fantastic area for apples. Texas has a fantastic area, obviously, for all the wineries where there's so many grapes being grown all over the place, and now breweries of all kinds. But also down south, citrus is huge in Texas.
Course.
I mean, just huge.
Well, of course it is. That's what the Valley does.
And so we're talking oranges and grapefruits and just everything in that family. So
yeah, the Valley is right up there with Florida in growing citrus.
And it's awesome to drive down there at the right time of year, and it's just.
And the trees are full,
miles.
and it's gorgeous.
I mean, green leaves,
that's
orange,
a trip.
citrus.
It's a trip I ought to put on my list for this year.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
And Mexican food as far as the eyes can see.
I know.
I love it.
And small town Mexican food doesn't get any better than that because they don't get the prepackaged food truck that drives in. It's real cheese, it's real handmade tortillas, and it's usually a bargain price. That is, I always look for Mexican food in Texas if I'm in a small town. Yeah. Because it's always good.
I love how if I were to chase the citrus, I know I'm going south and I'm in a very different feel, a really different Texas down there.
Yeah.
If I want to chase more of the vineyards and apple orchards, I'm in yet another different Texas. Everywhere I go, there's a different Texas if I just drive 2 miles in a direction.
Well, but did you know that Texas has more sheep than any place in the country?
Sheep.
Sheep.
I wouldn't have guessed sheep. I would have guessed
sheep.
Goats, maybe.
I y'all double check me. Somebody Google it, but that is what I have read in several places, and I was so surprised.
So Angela says Texas is the best of everything. Changed my mind. That's dairy hall. So sheep. I grew up raising goats and donkeys. So and everything associated with that means that we had the goats, and then we had the donkeys to protect the goats, and then we also had, Great Pyrenees dogs to watch the herd at large.
Yes.
And
because donkeys and Great Pyrenees protect in different ways.
They do. And what's funny is the Great Pyrenees will help protect against the cats, the mountain lions and the bobcats. And you would think that wouldn't come up that often, and yet we had definite experiences with our dogs and bobcats and mountain lions.
I raised goats for about 15 years in my backyard, and I had a herd of pygmy goats. Go figure. And I picked
Were they
it.
manageable for you?
Yeah, that's exactly why I did it. He thinks he's so smart. But I picked it because we had an ag exempt on this house that we bought that
That's
had
how you
5
do it.
acres.
That's how you do
And
it.
we had to keep it.
Mhm.
Horses don't count. Chickens didn't count, or I don't know.
You have to have like a
you
certain
had to have this
number.
huge
You have
amount
to
of
do
chickens.
something with the. Yeah.
So I decided, well, goats was the easiest, but I needed the smallest goat that I could manage.
Right.
Because I love you, Richard, but I knew I was on my own with this.
Yeah, but you know
So-
what? Fainting goats, they're really easy to
But-
manage. You
but
scare them and you
no.
just manage them. You just pick
And
'em
then
up
you
and-
manage them.
I just go out there and I clap and then I just start scooping them up.
But the problem is that the coyotes and the mountain lions
Yes.
like them. And finally, after 15 years, when I just had enough, we'd had Pyrenees, we'd tried to protect them, and we just couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I just said, done. I'll pay
Is
the
that-
taxes.
Oh, so you went ahead and let the ag exempt go?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's see what Angela has to say. Yes, checked out more sheep and lambs, followed by California and Colorado, and 5.2 million head of sheep and lambs.
Who
Where
knew
are
that?
these? Because
Yes.
I
Isn't
see.
that surprising?
I see. Obviously, you see the cattle out and about.
Yeah.
And you see the goats out and about. Those are easy finds when
Yes.
driving through Texas. In fact, it's easier for me to find emu and sometimes ostriches. I don't see that many
Well,
sheep
that's
out
okay.
there.
Okay, back up though. That's
I'm
something
backing
different.
up.
But you see all those because are you through backing up? Sorry, guys, we're having a day. But you see all of those because these ranchers have huge lands, and they can do wildlife preserves,
Mhm.
and that's offers some tax advantages.
Sure.
They can charge money and have people come through.
Mhm.
And as much as I hate to talk about it, there are wildlife game hunting ranches
Mhm.
that make money,
Yeah.
and
Emus and ostriches, nasty. They are really gross
they
birds.
are nasty.
And what's funny about the emus is that I want to say 25 years ago, for some reason, it was the thing to get into for about a year.
Well, because everybody wanted oil and something.
There was some big,
Oh,
it was almost a
Are
fad.
emus the one that they make the yarn out of, or is that alpaca? That's
Alpaca, yeah. Which those are fun
And llamas.
Mhm.
Why do we have so many llamas now?
because they're
'Cause
really
they're
beautiful.
cute?
They're really beautiful. They are not nice. They are not nice animals, but they are. Honestly, there's something about llamas.
So
They're
you
beautiful
bring them
animals.
into an unnatural habitat and you feed them because they're beautiful? What am I missing?
Well, that's one entry point. Like for instance, you'll obviously find people who just love donkeys. You know, my mom names all the baby donkeys, and they're pretty much pets before they're moved to some other family or what have you. People attached to that's their entry point.
But donkeys
cute
aren't
things.
that nice either.
If you,
I mean,
if
they
you
are
s-
not that
They can
nice.
be socialized. As a baby, you can socialize anything.
So your mom loved the donkeys more than you?
Yes, I'm
You
not,
can be socialized, I've learned.
but I wasn't socialized early.
She didn't pet you and send you off to another family.
Oh my gosh.
She did name you. Yeah. Moving
It's
on.
true. North and west of San Antonio. Yep. The hills, plateaus of hill country. Yeah, you can see all these things. Just you name it. You can go almost ranch by ranch and find the goats, find the wild game ranches, the hunting ranches, and things like that. It's
Well, I guess that, Texas is a lot of just open land and rocks. And if you can't farm it,
then ranch it.
cattle
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
goats and lambs, I guess. Sheep
Well,
are kind of like goats. They
That
can
much
work off-
land without utilizing the ag exemption. Oh my gosh, the taxes if you are not utilizing it for the ag exemption.
Edwards County. Where is Edwards County? Where's Rock Springs? No one could see where you were pointing. It went way off the screen.
Yeah.
So it's south, right?
Yeah, Turks and Caicos Islands loaded with donkeys all over the streets. That I actually probably wouldn't feel safe because donkeys, they're
You
going
just
to do their own thing. They're
you
going to be
just finished
stubborn.
telling me they could be socialized.
They
and
can,
they're nice.
but if they aren't, can be does not mean they are. My mom's donkeys raised like her own kids. Most donkeys not.
Okay. Okay. Well, but if they're used to being in the streets.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do they do if a donkey goes rogue and starts being mean?
I don't know. Northwest of Concan. Concan's a beautiful area. If
Where
you have
is
not been,
Concan?
so it's the
Right?
hill country of hill country down on the Frio
What?
River.
How do I never heard of Concan?
Because you grew up in the Houston area.
Well,
Ugh.
I grew up a hell of a long time ago. I mean, I've
Houston
done a lot of
area still
living
looks
since
mostly
then.
the same.
That was the dark ages, okay? All right. Oh, west of Kerrville.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Angela.
beautiful area. Beautiful
West
area.
of Kerrville.
Go camping over there.
Oh,
Tell
yeah,
Richard to
there's
make plans
nothing over
there.
All right. So we need to find some good campgrounds in Concan.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd love to. I like camping in the middle of nowhere, don't you?
I do.
I noticed the
Why I have
back
the
of your shirt.
Constantinople song stuck in my head now. I don't know why. It doesn't relate to anything, but
because it sounds like Concan.
Constantinople. Anyways, we need to road trip all over. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, will one of you guys put together like a weekend plan, a 3-day plan?
So this would just be a driving trip.
Day tripper plan.
This
I
wouldn't
don't
be
know.
necessarily tow your trailer
No,
if it's
I
if
want
it's,
to tow
it's
your
a
trailer
go.
3-day plan
Okay.
in that area.
Angela,
But first,
TJ wants to camp with you.
I want you to stand up and turn around so they can see your shirt.
Well,
He has a great shirt on
it
today.
focuses on your face, so it might not be legible, but we can find out. All right. All right. They can't see my shirt because of my butt.
There you go.
What's it say? I can't remember. I can't bear to camp alone. Is that this
Yes.
one? Okay. I can't remember. I put it on this morning and kept wearing it.
So it took me about 30 minutes to figure out his shirt. I guess I hadn't had enough coffee. But I started thinking, I don't know. I love camping alone. I think I would love it.
see, we got some really smart people. In
All
here.
right, Angela is putting it together. Istanbul was Constantinople, and now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So, Angela, if you could create a plan that you get to join PJ on, and just an itinerary, and help her to accomplish it. She
Yes.
doesn't know.
I want to
Concan.
know what's out there that we need to do.
I want to do
I
a
am-
West Texas trip. For some reason, I want to go to the pools of, was it Balmorhea?
Balmorhea,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
I told Laura West is where I want to go in Texas next. And then for my out-of-state trip in 2022, I think I want to do Arkansas.
Well, I would love to go to Balmorhea. I've driven past it a bunch of times, but it is now under construction, or at least
Again?
it was recently.
It's forever under construction. It's like the
So,
I-35 of natural
You
features.
couldn't go. Yeah, great color on his shirt, right? Because finally we have some color.
Mm-hmm.
None of us wear any color, so I don't know what happens here. I like things that I don't have to worry about if they go together, but I guess everything goes with jeans. So, Balmorhea is
Dell
a really
says come
fun
up to
place.
British Columbia. I mean,
Oh yeah, cool.
ask my boss for the time off. Boss?
Yeah. 3-day weekend. So, do you have sheep in British Columbia? That's what I want to know.
I think you have sheep
Are
almost
there
anywhere.
sheep there?
Yeah, I think surely.
I don't know.
Surely.
Okay. All right. Well, I think Texas has so many great things. If you guys aren't in Texas, you need to make a road trip. You know what? We should maybe put our top 10 list of places and camping things that you should do in Texas and not miss,
Mm-hmm.
and post that somewhere. What would be on your top 10 list?
In Texas?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking areas or activities. So obviously I mentioned west for the pools of Balmorhea, just that area. I do want to camp as close as I can to McDonald Observatory. I really want to camp there on dark, clear skies.
Well, Balmoray's not that far.
Yeah, I think there'd be a lot the same experience, but if I can do that trip with the observatory and really have my kids just be blown away by stars.
Yes.
Because even if you've seen them a billion times, there's a billion
Yes.
more. You know.
Yes.
So I want to do that. I want to do a good East Texas trip, but I'm always wondering. I haven't really figured out how to time that because
Texans don't usually go east.
Did
you know there's an Azalea Trail?
No.
Texans don't go east.
But we
I
should
don't know why that
because
is.
it's a different. I don't know how to explain it. I've driven through. It's another thing that's a different Texas, and I want my kids to experience that. But it's like Mosquito Haven.
Is that it?
Well,
It's
that's
just-
part of it. It's
well,
swampy.
Okay.
It's foresty.
It's flat land. It's foresty,
Mm-hmm.
and so you don't have the beautiful hill country, which if we're comparing it to West Texas, what's in West Texas? Prairie, but there's no good roads when you go east. So there's no good roads to get anywhere but across the coast.
But as adventurers, we know that if there is a road, that's good enough.
Well, there is a road, but you'll probably be behind a pine tree logging truck, and it will be horrible driving. That is the eastern side of Texas. But there is an Azalea Trail, and it's awesome out in Nacogdoches, going over to Natchitoches,
Natchitoches.
which is down the road from Nacogdoches, and that I think that's probably one of the cool things.
Yeah. You know,
Whales, bears, and wildlife in British Columbia.
and
I think that sounds cool.
don't call Angela Shirley.
Angela, my apologies. I know you're not Shirley. Surely you're not Shirley.
Yeah. See, Fort Davis and then went to McDonald Reserve. Yeah.
Fort Davis. I mean, that's just kind of what happens. When you go to Big Bend, you have to go to Fort Davis, you have to go to Balmoray, and you have to go to McDonald Observatory, and you have to go to Marfa.
So
it's
here-
just
East
part
Texas
of it.
during rose season. That should be a determiner. If you know what to look for versus just an area. If you're like, I need rose season, then I can narrow that down.
Yeah.
To Tyler State Park. Okay.
because there's lots of rose things to do up by Tyler, and then you head down to the Azalea Trail, and it's wonderful. Yeah, it's beautiful. I have heard. Never been there.
Yep.
Never been there.
Been to Texas by car 2 years ago, 2 times years ago, and on the way to Arizona.
Through the
New,
Panhandle?
Yeah. There's so much more to Texas than the Panhandle.
Oh yeah.
I
Yes.
like the Panhandle because it gets me other places.
Yeah. Did you make it to Amarillo, Barbara? Because Amarillo's kind of a unique Texas piece. I think it's kind of decades.
It's a high desert.
decades behind.
Yeah. Dale's husband drives a logging truck, so I mean, East Texas might actually kind of show him the same sites.
Yeah.
Logging trucks, and I don't know.
And a logging truck in British Columbia, right? But yeah, and there's nothing wrong with driving a logging truck. There is just a little frustration in being behind it when the only roads you can be on are small town roads. There's no big roads out
Yeah,
there.
but you're on vacation.
So you're behind
taking
a
your time
logging truck
anyways.
that has to stop at all the lights in every town, and there's a town every 20 miles. It just makes for a long trip. And there isn't like a nice place to stop and eat, or a nice restaurant to take some time, or I mean, there's just poor towns that need assistance, and the only reason they're there is the wide spot on the highway. I need to learn what's great about East Texas because I got almost nothing.
Well, part of it is there's some real beauty there. There may not be great roads, there may not be great urban areas, there may not be a whole lot of your typical tourist stuff, but it's beautiful. It is a really beautiful country, and they have
and
a
the
different
trees
type of
are
tree.
fabulous.
Caddo
They're
Lake
super tall.
State Park is
Okay.
out there,
Okay.
which is a big, beautiful swamp.
You're not helping me, okay?
But it's beautiful. It's magical.
Magical?
Mike, Halloween weekend. They're camping in the low 40s at night.
Ooh. That sounds lovely.
Cheers to you.
Yes.
I do like cool weather camping a lot.
I haven't camped in my new trailer when it got down that
You
cold.
should.
But I'd be ready.
You were going to during the great February ice storm last year. Snow apocalypse.
Yeah.
It was the week of your trip
Yes.
to Dinosaur Valley.
Yes.
Yeah.
But didn't do it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you know what? I will get there. It's going to be wintertime again, and I'll get there.
Barbara, surprised by all the dry counties. There are fewer and fewer dry counties up that way.
Yes, people are not
Fewer and
tolerating
fewer.
that anymore.
No, well,
You know, Georgetown, where I live, was a dry county when I moved there. pretty
yeah,
much.
they changed.
And now
20-ish
you can
years
walk
ago?
around downtown with a beer in your hand.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, in 25 years, it just went
Yeah.
from one end to the other.
Dale, I'm with you. Anything going to space, anything space related in Texas.
Dairy
it.
Palace in Canton. Well, we all know about First Monday in Canton. It's huge flea market. I mean, huge. Huge. You can't do it in one day, probably, if you want to look at everything. It's really fun, but I don't know what was the other thing he said? Dairy Palace. I don't know what Dairy Palace is. What is that?
I don't know. Chuck is camping this weekend. Where, Chuck? Tell me more. Do share. Dale takes the dawn out in cold weather, no problems. Yeah, I have heard that anything in the Soul lineup actually performs super well in the cold. Like they are just buttoned up, and which is what we imagine when we sell them, but we don't experience here in Texas. So we speak to it. I mean, it sure looks like it can handle it, but those who actually do it are reporting what you see is what is happening.
Well, the Farmer's Almanac said that we are going to have a winter this year similar to the one last year. So if that's the case, we had 2 snowstorms here last year. One of them was, I think, epic is a good word. And so I should have some opportunity. I'm excited. I want to try cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be looking for tips and tricks again because my memory's not that long.
All right. Our friends at Travels with Delaney. Now, you may have heard Travels with Delaney on our podcast. We've had them on. We're friends with them on, obviously, Facebook and the socials, but also on YouTube. So if you haven't followed them, they're our friends. They camp in a Lance now. They started out in a Tab 400. But anyways,
Yes.
check them out. So
Yeah.
fall. I'm going to bring that back up. Fall is a favorite time to camp, followed by winter, summer, and spring.
Yes.
In that order. So fall to winter, and then summer and spring.
So, Patrick, why fall? Why not early spring?
I gotta
I
admit,
don't know.
I personally like.
Good to hear from you, by the way.
my
Haven't
s-
talked to you in a while.
My 2 seasons are fall and spring. I will put up with summer, and I'll put up
Summer's
with
just
winter.
hot.
But
I mean,
fall and spring are my seasons.
we've done podcasts on how hot it is in the summer and how to survive it.
Mm-hmm.
And we always come back to the same thing, just camp near water.
Yeah, see-
because it's so stinking hot.
Barbara knows. She says, yeah, it was 1,980 degrees in the summer.
I don't think that is what she's saying.
Okay, fine. That's when she passed the panhandle. Good RV park in southeast Texas. Stayed 5-wide tag.
Do you remember what it
Ooh,
was?
37 degrees. Dairy Palace has the best burgers.
Oh,
I'm
it's
there.
just the place to go eat.
I'm there.
We maybe need to start a burger blog.
See, this is the
because-
image I get in my head. What Dell's saying about sitting by the big window with the heat on full and just watching the snow fall outside. That's
Aw.
the vision.
The white Christmas kind of vision.
And you're just looking out like you're the fish in the fishbowl.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
It's like the reverse snow globe. Like they just shook the world outside and you're inside.
Okay, that's super weird. I don't know what to do with that. But I would love that.
So
I would love that.
Here we go. Cool temperatures, fall foliage, and apples. Yep. It's
We don't have fall foliage
not
down
too
here.
not great, but I think
It's
that's
like
the
it's green and then it's not.
that's the I don't know, Better Homes and Gardens kind of picture in my head.
Well, that's exactly what Dale is saying, sitting inside and watching the snow
Yeah.
fall. Awesome. That sounds awesome.
Okay, so Texas it has some of the best of a lot of things,
Yeah.
but there are some things we don't get the best fall colors. We just don't.
We just don't get fall colors.
And
I mean, literally, it's alive, then it's dead.
And
That's what
snow
happens.
events aren't really magical here if they last longer than 24 hours. They're quite disruptive here if they're over 24 hours. Whereas other places in the world, they're built up for it.
Okay, Indian Springs Campground in
Kuntz.
is that how you say
I'm
that?
going to say Kuntz. Counts?
Not
Countsy.
Countsy?
Countsy. I'm going to say Kuntz. Why not? Texas. I'm in Texas. I can mess it up and get away with it.
Okay, they have ghosts nearby and Southern Made donuts. Man, that's an adventure. Cool. That's awesome. All right, I want to remember that because
Yep.
I'm going to figure out east.
Well, Mike's got a point. Less bugs up where he is in the fall. You know?
Well, there's less bugs here too in the fall.
Are there? Are there?
Yes, and there are less mosquitoes.
Have you seen Avery Tomasco's mosquito chart?
No.
And he's like, if it's above 60 degrees, they're going to swarm you. If it's below 60 degrees, they're still going to be there. They're just going to be lethargic. They don't actually like stop moving until it's like 40 degrees. Well, how often is it below 40 in Texas, where we are?
Yeah, but if they're not swarming me, that's better, right?
Better.
If they're not swarming me,
Better.
oh, come on. Oh yeah, in spring it rains more, and spring sometimes just gets muggy. I guess because it rains more. Okay.
Spring tends to be more damp and wet.
Fire in the snow. I've never experienced that. Can I
Yeah.
go camping when it? See, the problem with here.
I will send
when
you
it
north to do
snows-
that, but you will tell me how cold it is just thinking
know.
about it.
But when it snows around here, it's really tough to go camping because literally, if it even looks like it's gonna snow, the roads shut down.
Okay, so maybe
mean,
if it looks like
everything
it's going to
stops.
snow, you go out to your campsite before they shut down, and then you're just there. But then you could end up.
I
in a
tried to
situation
do
like
that
us.
last time,
Yeah,
and
that was
I was
dangerous.
shut down.
I'm glad you
I was
didn't.
shut down. I'm glad I didn't either because a week and a half in Snowmageddon probably wouldn't have been good. But how do you find that? It's kind of like fall in Texas. We just don't have that middle ground weather. We don't. If it's snowing, it's dangerous here.
Angela, did you see the mosquitoes at Texas Tiny Trailer Rally?
Yes,
mean-
we did. It was awful, and
No,
there was
what?
quite a
That's-
few.
I
There was quite.
I liken it to growing up in Victoria though, and I'm like, no, that's manageable, irritating but
Okay.
manageable.
Okay. Did you see all the bee stings that everybody got the last
I
day?
heard about them. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. The bees got mad, but there was quite a few. It was terrible.
We didn't invite them in to dance to Bob Apple.
Who didn't?
We didn't invite the bees in.
Oh. Okay.
You know bees are good at wiggling their heinies.
Well, they were
That's how they
mad at us,
communicate.
so that's Sunday payback.
Yeah.
They didn't get to dance.
Mm-hmm.
The bee dance. Yeah, and Angela, I'm all good for Colorado too.
Mm-hmm.
Look, she says they were huge. They were huge.
They were huge. Yeah. We need to get PJ up to Indiana this winter to go camping. Yes.
Let's do it.
Just
Let's do it. That would be so fun.
You have her email.
All right. Let's plan it.
Mhm.
We'll go
And
up,
phone number.
go camping, fall foliage. I don't even know if I'm saying, is it foliage or foliage?
I think it's one of those pecan things. You're fine.
I'm fine?
Yeah, just roll.
Well, I know I'm
roll
fine,
with it.
but am I
Yes,
saying it
just
correctly?
Deal with it.
Okay.
We're fine.
Okay.
Okay. We're good.
All right. Invitation accepted. Let's see what we can do. That's awesome. Somebody's going to give me something to camp in. I'll find something. All right.
Wait. You hate bees. Huge fear. Never been stung.
Well, most people say if you just leave them alone, they're fine. They won't bite you. They're just checking it out. But if you're allergic, it is a whole different problem.
Now, granted, bee stings for me, I have been stung enough times. I
No.
survived. It wasn't fun.
Bees aren't fun. Yellow jackets aren't fun. We have a lot of mud daubers.
Well, those
and
red
that
bees,
kind of thing.
those red wasps, they're pretty.
Yeah, the
neat.
wasps, they're terrible.
I've
But let's
probably-
talk. If we're talking about getting stung, as long as it's not a scorpion, I'm okay.
See, I'm even not
Scorpions
the most
just
scared of
hurt.
those.
they hurt so much worse.
And they're all over the place over
And
here.
they hurt like somebody ran poison and you feel it all going up your arm. I mean, when I've been bit by them, it made everything hurt, and then it made me achy. I mean, they're terrible. I hate that.
No, I've been stung by, I've lost count. I've been stung too many times. What I'm still scared of is the snake bites. I haven't been bit by a snake yet.
I haven't either.
Knowing my luck, it's going to happen at some point. But
Well, let's stick with mosquitoes. How's that? Really big mosquitoes.
Yeah.
I will take really big. I've heard the mosquitoes are bigger than any place in the world when you're in Alaska. But I've never been to Alaska, so I don't know. I don't know what they're like there. Are they different? I don't know. Those Texas coast mosquitoes are pretty awful.
what always surprises me on the Texas coast are those biting horseflies.
Oh yeah.
Like they don't cross my mind. I don't think they exist unless I'm down there, and then I'm
Yeah.
just on because man, they'll draw blood. That or in Palo Duro Canyon, they're there as well.
Well, where else are we traveling on these trips here? You were telling me what was on your top 10 list in Texas?
Yeah, I think I hit a west,
Yeah.
an east, and
I would send somebody
dark
down
skies.
to, I would send somebody down to camp on the coast.
which
I know
Yeah.
Patty and Patrick camped down, I think you were in Surfside, but there's lots of places down on the coast. We have some wildlife preserves, and then there's places where you can go down and you can camp right on the water. That's always nice, and in summertime, that's a cool thing to do. Probably really nice in the spring and fall because there's less people. But
My family always went to
Nice stuff there.
Port Aransas in February. We knew that that's what we were doing. We're going to Port Aransas in February. The beaches were pretty much just ours. It was
Mm-hmm.
cold, but as a kid, you don't care. You get acclimated
Mm-hmm.
right away. It was our own version of magical. So, Mustang Island. Yep.
Yeah, it is nice. Everybody ought to have a place down there they like to camp. And I, you guys know it by now. Beach is not my first choice, but I do think that an occasional trip down to camp on the coast, if you have a trailer, is totally worth it.
Yes.
Totally worth it.
Brazoria County Beach. Yes. Yeah, I think that comes up by people who've done their research or who are connected enough to know. It's one of those areas. It's like if you know, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Brazoria County Beach. Wow. Japanese murder hornets.
found a couple nests. Did you really? Because they kind of fell off of the national news map recently, where I just don't hear anything about them.
But are they still around?
Yeah,
Apparently.
yeah. They're also huge. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to keep them away. I don't know how to help you there, Dale. But I want them away from everyone.
Throw a boot at them.
Why are they Japanese?
Because yes.
Okay. And he
Well,
didn't find those nests.
yeah,
Other people
but
found
they
those
aren't-
nests. They were reported found.
Yeah, but the murder hornets are invasive. They are not indigenous. Indigenous still isn't the word, but whatever. They came from somewhere. Maybe
Maybe Japan.
Japan. Ease. Yes, they're from Japan. See, all we need is people to help us out.
I could have guessed
All day
that.
long.
I would have guessed Japan.
All day long, we need people to help us out. PJ here. Oh, everybody! It's we've been at it for almost 40 minutes, which means
Which means you guys
you're
gotta be tired of listening to us sit here.
you're
and
never getting
banter.
those minutes back. I'm so sorry.
There's no do-overs. None.
You're not getting that piece of life back. But
Okay, will you help me put together a top 10 list for Texas?
Okay.
Of places that we would camp. And then let's see how it changes as time goes on.
Yeah.
'Cause we ought to have that out there. We're in Texas.
Yeah, we will need to invite Lindsay into the discussion.
Oh, do we have to?
Yep.
All right, y'all helped us out. We'll include some of your places.
Thank you,
All right.
everybody.
Enjoy your Friday, Dale.
Yeah, you do make Friday wonderful. So thanks for conversing, hanging. and whatnot.
chatting. Always good to hear from you. You make our day.
So, all right, everybody. Until next week. Bye now.